వన్ సెకండ్ స్ట్రీమ్ స్టార్ట్ అయితే చెప్పేస్తాను.
Yes, I think it has started. Streaming has started.
30 seconds more నాకు.
Hmm.
Yes, it will start. Anabhavana, it will start.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
మనం స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute, Venki.
Yes.
Yeah. So very good afternoon to all. So it is my pleasure to introduce our today's guest and my dear friend Dr. Venkateshwara Amara for our today's webinar on drafting research article and research proposal and overview. He is currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology in Naipur, Hajipur. He completed his master's degree in pharmacology and toxicology from Naipur, Guwahati, as well as he completed his PhD in pharmacology and toxicology from Naipur, Mohali. He secured All India first rank in Naipur JEE PhD entrance exam, as well as he is also Pratibha Award holder from state of Andhra Pradesh for his excellence marks in class 12. Dr. Amara has had extensive international research exposure also. He worked in very prestigious organizations like Vanderbilt University Medical Center as well as Meharry Medical College as a postdoctoral fellow in United States of America. He is having over 12 years of rich research experience in pharmaceutical sciences. His work primarily focuses on nephrology, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, obesity, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, as well as stem cells and epigenetics. He is the recipient of several notable research awards, including he also received a grant from very prestigious award, National Institute of Health Research Grant, and also he is the award holder from the Sun Pharma Science Scholar Award also. Further, he is having a strong publication record and also received the grants from various funding agencies. So, with this brief introduction, I'm welcoming today's our guest, Dr. Venkateshwara Amara, for presenting his view on how to write the research articles and how to draft the research proposals. So, thank you, Dr. Amara. So, please continue your session.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful introduction, Dr. Samudrala. I'm very much delighted to present this talk related to the drafting of research article and research proposal. Okay. Even before I start my presentation, I wish to. I think there seems to be some disturbance going on. Okay, it's okay. I wish to provide a disclaimer that the whole content of this presentation is mine and it doesn't reflect my employer in any way. I mean, it doesn't represent or reflect Naipur Hajipur in any way. Everything, content and the opinions and expressed in this presentation are mine. Even before, generally, many people tend to incorporate acknowledgements at the end of the presentation, but I would like to include this at the beginning of the presentation itself because without the support of my MPharm students, Janavi, Sanika, and Gayatri, this presentation would not have been materialized. Of course, I have given the idea and what to be included, but they helped me out in preparing this presentation. So I must acknowledge them. And it is a standard practice there in the US also that they try to include the acknowledgements in the in the beginning of the presentation itself, so that the supporting people must be recognized always. Okay, so now starting the presentation, actual presentation. So by the end of this presentation, you will be learning about formatting and writing tips for research article and a research proposal. See, this is a roadmap in the career of a student or an academician. So, for example, during masters, I mean, during bachelor's and master's, we aim to secure marks and CGPA. And during master's, especially, we try to seek admission for PhD like that. This is the conventional way. When we join PhD, we tend to publish research articles because marks and CGPA, they are of least concern when you join for PhD. So um, our metric for our performance are nothing but research papers, and we try to learn so many skills and methods required for carrying out research. When you move to a next level of career, that is entry level faculty, for example, as an assistant professor, then you are expected to write research grants, I mean research proposals also besides research articles. And when you move to the mid-level faculty level, for example, like that of an associate professor, then you are expected to write research proposals for intermediate level. And when you proceed to the senior level faculty, that is a professor, then you are expected to write research proposals for large grants, for example, centers of excellence, center of research, that. And then we can contribute to the policy making, guidelines preparation, also all these things. So what I mean to say is across all these phases of our career, we will come across research article and a research proposal for sure. So in order to address that thing, the presentation is taken up. Whenever I talk about art, there are different types of articles. These are the major ones. Okay, there can be many beyond these also, but these are the major ones. First one is research article. That, for example, okay, we do some research work, publish it in a journal. That is a research article. And generally, these are the primary research articles. And review article. Review is a summary of existing research articles. You can consider it as a secondary research article also. Conference report means, for example, right now some event is being organized by this Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy. So the presentations, proceedings of all this event can also be published as a conference report in certain journals. The only thing is that the organizers need to approach that I mean journals, and then present all this information to them so that they will publish in their journal as a conference report. Fourth one is letters of commentary. So, for example, I have published some paper, and you can comment on that paper. So that can also be published in certain journals. Any researcher can comment on that one, and that can be communicated to the journal, and they will publish it for us. So these are different, I mean, truly major article types that are present in the scientific community. Before proceeding to the publication of an article, the first and foremost thing is to do the literature review, then proceeding for the carrying out experiments, and then only comes the point of article publishing. So during literature review, actually literature review, what it helps us is, it helps us know the existing information, I mean most prevalent information about the research area which we have chosen, whatever findings that are already available and the comparisons, and it helps us in finding out the research gaps so that we can set up a proper research question. For example, when I started this NIFLD research work, I was not much sure about the different models of NIFLD. So what I did was randomly I have chosen 20 or 30 research articles from a journals of high impact factor, and then I tabulated them in this manner so that I can make some informed decision to finalize the model of the disease which I am going to work with. This helped me in so this literature review helped me in deciding the model for NAFLD. NAFLD, it is a disease that affects liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Of course, this disease has now been renamed to metabolic dysfunction associated steatohepatitis steatotic liver disease. Okay. For I mean, nowadays so many AI tools have come up, and it is very difficult to do the literature review manually also. So we can make use of so many AI tools that have come up. Even Science Direct also has come up with its own AI tool, that is Eureka. There are so many other tools, Jenny AI, SciSpace. Some literature review tools have come up. They help us in summarizing many research articles at a, I mean, in no time. Then, after conducting an effective literature review, we will come to know about the research gaps existing in the research, and then we can generate a problem statement or research question. In order to answer that research question, we carry out the experiments to prove or disprove our research question. Then comes the step of article publishing. The article publishing is a long journey involving so many steps, where we need to draft our article. And one thing I would like to emphasize here, throughout this presentation, I will be talking about research article, not review article or not letter or commentary. Okay. So when you think of research article, after carrying out the research work, once we have sufficient data, then we we draft the means we write the research article in a specific format, and then it should be accompanied with a cover letter. Both of these things need to be submitted to the journal. Then the journal evaluates its scope, I mean, evaluates the research article based on the scope and technicalities, and then send it to the, sorry, just a minute, and then send it to the experts in the field for review. Once the review is done by the experts, they are called peer reviewers, then final decision will be taken by the journal to whether to accept or deny the publication research article. Then if at all payment method is involved in that journal, then that has to be accomplished, and then the journal will publish the research article in public domain. So we will go through each and every step in detail. Okay. So in general, when you are drafting a research article, it has different components. The widely known format is IMRDC for all the biomedical research articles. IMRDC means, I mean, first abstract, obviously. After that, introduction, materials and methods, IM, results are, and then discussion and conclusion. This is the standard format of any biomedical research article. So acknowledgement means we are thanking the ones who have contributed to the completion of the research article. And then we can include the supporting information, because whenever we publish, there might be a limitation on the number of words and the length of the document that can be published. So if our research article is exceeding that one, whatever the data or whatever the information portion that is exceeding the limits set by the journal, we can include it in the supporting information or supplementary information. And bibliography is nothing but references that are included in a research article. Generally, it goes at the end of the article. Graphical or visual abstract. See, for any research article, it is wise to include a graphical or visual abstract. See, it is nothing but a summary of the whole research article in the form of figures or images, so that the whole article can be understood with just a figure. So, for example, sorry, something is missing. Just a figure. Just a minute, sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, now we will look into each and every component of this research article format. This is the article which I have chosen to describe each and every steps of article format. This is an article that describes the activation of brown adipose tissue enhances the efficacy of calculation for treatment of NASH. Before going into the detail, we should know that okay, NASH or MASH, I mean, which is currently now known as MASH, is a phase of a broad spectrum of the disease that is called MASLD, metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. You should understand this one so that you will be understanding the remaining portion of this presentation. So first one is steatosis. I mean, the first phase of this disease is steatosis, which means that increased accumulation of a lipid in the liver, and then it is followed by inflammation and fibrosis. Fibrosis at an extensive stage is called cirrhosis, and it can further lead to carcinoma. There is liver cancer. These are different phases of the overall disease, that is MASLD. So what this research article was trying to find out was they were trying to find out the effect of a brown adipose tissue activator and calorie restriction. Means calorie restriction means one kind of fasting. Okay, when these two things are combined, whether it can be a therapeutic strategy for NASH or not, that is the aim of this research article. Okay, so now if you open, for example, the same introduction, when you look at the introduction, you will be overwhelmed with a lot of information included in the introduction. But if we break it up, if we split it up, then it would be very easy to write the introduction of a research article. In general, if you are able to write all these 6 components, that would serve the introduction part of a research article. First one is, see, all the 6 will be described in detail. First one is definition. Definition of the research area or the disease. This will help in making the research article known to the broader scientific community. So, for example, here it has described, it has defined NAFLD and then and its prevalence. Sorry. Here it has defined NAFLD and its prevalence. And then pathophysiology, whatever some molecular mechanism that is known with respect to the pathology of this disease that can be described in the pathophysiology portion. In the prevalence, how many people are being affected with this disease. So it gives us an impetus for the researcher that okay, this disease is affecting these many populations. So whatever the research I am going to do will be beneficial to these many populations. So that view we will get from the prevalence information. Research gap. So research gap means, for example, actually this NASH can be NASH or MASH. Okay, I might be using the terms NASH and MASH interchangeably, but please bear with me. Both of them mean the same. So there are truly speaking, there are just 2 drugs that are approved by US FDA for treating MASH. That is resmetirom and what is the other one? Semaglutide. Both these drugs, they are associated with some side effects, and lifestyle modifications are the best treatment options for this disease, but it is very difficult to comply with. Comply means, okay, for example, I will tell someone to eat unpolished rice and do a lot of exercises. It is very difficult to stick on to that lifestyle modification. So both these lifestyle modification and the existing treatments are associated with certain drawbacks. So there is some gap, and we have the opportunity to fill that gap by doing some research work. In under preliminary evidence, we have to include the data which is already existing or the data generated by us from the previous preliminary experiments. So all this information can be included under preliminary evidence. Hypothesis means, in short, it can be the expected outcome of the whole research. So, for example, by the research paper which I am talking about, what they did was they have incorporated a beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist to activate brown adipose tissue. That is one intervention, and the other intervention is calorie restriction. So they want to determine the effect of these two interventions in the disease, that is MASH. So what they hypothesized before initiating the research work was that the combination of these two would treat MASH. So whatever their expected outcome is, that will be the hypothesis. So in order to test the hypothesis, we need to do different experiments. All those experiments can be part of different objectives. Objectives are nothing but sub-aims with which we try to test a hypothesis. Hypothesis, we call it because it is not yet proved. So in order to prove or disprove a hypothesis, we need to set some aims to test that hypothesis. So until this one, these are different components of introduction. Okay, introduction of research article. See, once we have all these introduction materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusion, then it will be very easy to write abstract. So I did not focus on that abstract at all. Okay. I think this is the easiest portion of any research article. So this doesn't need to be described in detail. But what I would like to convey is share important information here is different software that will be very useful for biomedical researchers. For example, primer design. When someone is interested in doing real-time PCR or reverse transcription followed by real-time PCR, then they might be needing primers. So in order to design a primer, the software can be used, BLAST and Primer3. For making biomedical illustrations is, for example, at the end of the research article, I have mentioned that graphical abstract or visual abstract. So in order to generate that one, if we use a certain software, then it would be more appealing to convey, to summarize the whole research in the form of just a small figure. That is BioRender. In all these slides, I have mentioned the software that are available on paid basis and the free software also. So when someone goes through these slides, then they would know which software to be used based on the availability and feasibility. Okay, so for image analysis, ImageJ, narration tools, these different AI tools. Because what I found was it is not, in comparison with the foreigners, especially, for example, I can take the example of US only. We don't know, of course, we say that, okay, English is their mother tongue, so they do better. It's not about the language, it is about the narration skill. So in my opinion, they have excellent narration skills compared to us. So they make a research article more engaging and more interesting than us. They have excellent narration skills. It's not about the grammar, it's not about the English language, vocabulary, not these things at all. It is about narration. So these tools will help us in, Bard, Copilot. I think Bard is now called Gemini. Okay, Copilot, ChatGPT, Grammarly, but all these help us in narrating our research article. So there are different tools for statistical analysis, Graph, Prism, R, presentation software. This is worth noting here. So initially, when I started my career as a teacher here, I requested some of my students to come up with a solution to convert a slide consisting completely of text into pictogram, I mean, into figures. So I gave the text to them, and I requested them to find out a software that can convert this text into figures, including pictographs, pictograms, infographic, all those things. So somehow they failed. Later on, when I was attending a faculty development program of some institute, then they were presenting these slides with a lot of pictograms and infograms and schematics. Then through them, I have come to know that, okay, so the solution for my question is nothing but this Gamma AI, Napkin AI. What these tools do is they convert the text into figure. Okay. Abstract introduction materials are over. Now results.
Yeah,
In the
Dr.
results,
Venki, sorry to interfere. Even Notebook LM is also very fine for converting text into infographic. Notebook LM.
Notebook LM. Is it available free of cost?
Yeah, yeah, it is available free of cost. It's excellent. Like
Excellent.
recently, last 2 to 3 months, I am using that software. It is really good. When compared to Gamma AI,
Okay.
it is when compared to Gamma AI, it is 10 to 50x. It is better.
Truly speaking, I have not used Gamma AI at all, but I have used
Yeah.
what is this one? Napkin AI.
Notebook LM, it is Notebook LM. It is Google's one only. It is that is also like Google Scholar, one
Yeah.
extension of Google. That's
Okay,
all.
okay, yes, I have heard of it. Yes, you are right. You are
Yeah.
right. 100% right.
So
I have
you
heard
can
of
try.
it.
It may
We
be
can access
useful
that
for
one
you.
from the.
Yeah, even
Yes,
from our
obviously.
mobile. Like
Thank you very much for
if you are
telling.
having Geo subscription, you can avail paid
Hmm.
one also as a free one only. Yeah. Sorry for
Actually,
interruption.
I'm happy to accept any question, any suggestions, even during the mid of the presentation. Also, I'm happy to. There is no hard and fast rule. We have to attend till the end of the presentation to ask any question. But ultimately, see, many a time when we rely on these AI tools, we will be at risk in future. For example, when Gmail was initially available, there was no limit for the mails at all. And nowadays, no, so many people are facing issue of space crunch. So same situation will arise with these tools also. So we should always be ready to, I mean, make everything even with the help of without the help of AI tools also.
Yeah. Now it
We
is
should be
happening
ready.
for
I mean, we should
BioRender. Na?
learn to do that.
BioRender, they have also introduced that restriction. BioRender.
Yeah, it is. Yes. So we should be ready. So one of my students, she used to uh, generate excellent PPT, I mean slides without the use of AI tools. Of course, they might not be so appealing, but they are effective. They are not so inferior to that of the images generated by the AI. Okay, so while writing results, this is the way. For example, we must state the purpose of the experiment. For example, whatever the experiments that are done for generating this figure, always remember that a figure can be a mix of so many methodologies. It doesn't necessarily be only of one methodology. Many a time students tend to include, okay, I want to include all the plots in one figure. I want to include all the biochemical data in one figure. I want to include the histological images in one figure. No, it's not that. You can include any figure into, I mean, any figure, you can mix any figure so as to make up a story. Okay, here if you see, there are mRNA means it is a mix of histopathology analysis, some morphometric analysis, and biochemical analysis. All these are mixed in order to make a story about a result. So that is the main thing which I want to convey. And first, we should always mention the purpose of the experiments which we are doing. That has to be stated in the beginning of the paragraph itself of results. And there should always be a conclusive heading. It should never be a open heading. For example, see this. This figure says that activation of beta-3 adrenergic receptor improves brown adipose tissue function. That is what is conveyed by this figure. So if someone writes the title of this figure as see this effect of beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist on BAT function. Remember this title, okay? But I will give a better title for this one. Of course, I means the researchers who have done this research work. They came up with an excellent title. Look at this. Beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonists stimulate BAT function in HFD fed FOZ means it is an animal model where which were fed with high fat diet. In those animals, this beta-3 adrenergic receptors have stimulated brown adipose tissue function. So if you look at both the titles, which one would be more appealing? In my opinion, second one would be whenever, because it is a summary of the whole slide. Even if someone doesn't understand what these figures are, because it is highly likely. For example, some researchers who are not used to histopathology, they would not be able to understand the analysis of these histological images. And for example, someone do not know about RT-PCR at all, then they would not know anything about that. For example, the panel B in this figure. But for them, if you include a title like this, that okay, beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist simulate this one, then they would understand the whole slide. That is the aim of giving a conclusive heading, and but not a open and inconclusive heading. The heading must be a conclusive. In my opinion, this is a relatively challenging portion of any research article. That is writing a discussion part. Similar to that of introduction, if you break up or split up that discussion into these portions, then it will be very easy. It's not a nightmare for us at all. So these are different components of discussion. And so in the first paragraph of discussion, we should summarize the research findings in just 2 or 3 lines of the whole research work in just one small paragraph. That is the summary of key findings of a particular research work. Next, interpretation. So, for example, when the researchers found out that glucose homeostasis was improved after treatment with the beta-3 adrenergic receptor, they should see the discussion differs significantly from that of results. In results, what we say is okay, in comparison with control, the diseased group has exhibited certain abnormalities, and these abnormalities were treated upon treatment with an intervention. That is the way we should link the results that, and when we link the results, that is called interpretation of the results. Okay. Besides linking the results, we should always make comparisons with the existing findings. For example, after treating with BAT agonist, there was decreased brown adipose tissue weight, but increased brown adipose tissue activity. Same thing was observed by other researchers who worked with some other chemical of interest. So, but for example, if we don't observe that someone else has observed, that also need to be included here. That in contrast with the previous finding, we did not observe this one. So all these things help us in emphasizing the consistency, novelty of our research work, and it will reach the more scientific community. Implications or significance of findings means okay. So what at the end of the study, we will find out that beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist, and along with calorie restriction. You might be wondering, I have not included any figure related to calorie restriction, but it's okay. It's not required. But for the purpose of this presentation, it's not required. That's the reason I didn't include any figures related to that one here. So, okay. So by end of the research work, they concluded that activation of brown adipose tissue with a beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist, and combined with calorie restriction would help in treating MASH. So what implication does it have? For example, so it was tested in mice. So we have to write a sentence that, okay, since it is done in ashes, this can be extrapolated to humans to a certain extent. It cannot be extrapolated 100%, obviously, that I know. But we can say that, okay, this can be a potential therapeutic approach for treating MASH in humans. Of course, that will again be one research work, which is generally a clinical trial where people need to be treated with this beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonist, and they should be subjected to calorie restriction. Then this therapeutic approach can be used to treat MASH in those in humans, right, in the implications or significance of the findings. So for sure, whosoever has done the research work, they would be aware of the limitations and strengths of the study. So we should include all those things in the discussion. So whatever I told, future research discussion, the same thing, I mean, whatever I told for the under the implications, the same thing can be written in the future research directions. So this is done in animals. The same thing can be undertaken in humans in future, like that can be done. So here I want to correct one thing. So implications means, for example, here the researchers have worked with one disease, that is MASH. We can write a line that, okay, the basic underlying pathophysiology of MASH, type 1, type 2 diabetes, everything is almost similar. So we can write a line that this can be a therapeutic option for treating type 1 or type 2 diabetes also, where insulin resistance or metabolic dysfunction is the underlying mechanisms. Like that we can write. That is the implications or significance of the findings. So yeah, this is what I was looking for. I have taken two examples from two research articles. The left one shows that the graphical abstract was written in a structured format. I mean, that is, say, key message, methods, results, methods, participants, like that. This is highly structured one. But the right one, it is not a structured one, but it conveys the overall finding of this research article. So, for example, the right panel shows Fe16, it is a protein that is required for promoting HIF-1 alpha mediated hypoxia in regulating ApoL1 expression in podocytes. So the whole thing can be represented in the form of an figure. That's what this figure, graphical or visual abstract is. Generally, once we are ready with our research article, drafting a research article, most of the publishers offer this journal finder tool where we can just paste the abstract, and then the journal finder will help us in suggesting the journals. It would be very easy for us to look for a particular. Generally, the people who are really involved in the research, they would all obviously know, okay, this is the journal where I can publish my research article, and they don't need this tool at all. Only for the amateurs, beginners, these tools are required. So while choosing a journal, we should keep in our mind also so many metrics related to the journal. For example, there are so many students in a class. How can you measure their performance? We can measure their performance based on the marks they secure in exams. So similarly, there are different metrics for measuring the greatness of a journal. So some of those metrics are journal impact factor, 5-year journal impact factor, site score. These are different metrics given by different organizations. First three are given by Clarivate Web of Sciences, and fourth one by Digital Science, and remaining, SiteScore and Snip by Scopus. These are different organizations that have come up with their own metrics to quantify journals performance. So while choosing a journal, we can choose a journal with a high impact factor. Of course, there is a cautionary statement that based on the generally this information can be obtained from the researchers who have a good experience. They know, for example, that okay, this research work can be published in a journal of impact factor 10 or 3, 4, 1, like that. Those who are already experts in the research work, they would obviously know. So beginners, it is wise to seek their suggestion in finding out the journal also. I should have included one in the materials and methods itself, but okay. See, throughout, as soon as I started my career as a teacher, I have gone through a lot of literature and have come up with a excellent roadmap where we can publish a research article without doing even any bench work also. So these are different steps that can be done by using just the software. For example, see this. We can do the we have to take up a disease of interest. Then we have to predict the targets of the disease and the targets of the ligand. Ligand means intervention. And then using network pharmacology, we can create so many figures. Then we can find out the affinity between the target and the intervention ligand by using some docking tools and dynamics tools. Then we can predict the pharmacokinetics using GastroPlus. Many of these software can be available free of cost also. For example, not everyone might have access to Schrodinger. So in that case, you can resort to Autodoc, and for molecular dynamics, other softwares besides Schrodinger, they can be used. And if you have all this data, even without doing the bench work, we can publish our research work in a good journal with an impact of 3 point something is there. So this is an example of that research work which was done purely based only on the in silico work without any in vitro or in vivo experiments. Okay, see, so all these 13 steps are there for the whole drug discovery and development. All these 13, I have included just a pictogram just to show that, okay, napkin A has generated this one based on the text I submitted, I entered there in the napkin A2. Okay. With this, I conclude the portion of today's, that is research article writing. Then moving on to the research proposal writing, which is also called as grant proposal. See, remember that.
Yeah, Dr.
Yes.
Venki, Dr. Venki, can you wait
Yes,
for 1
sir.
minute?
Yes, please. If you have any questions, please
Yeah,
don't
dear
hesitate to
students,
ask
if
me.
you have any queries, you can ask till now, because next one is the grant proposal. It is a completely different one. So if you have any questions regarding writing research article, or anything related to article, or anything related to hypothesis, anything related to research, you can ask. He's the better person to ask to what I can say to give answer your question. Please feel free. If you have any questions regarding your research, you
Yes,
can
yes,
ask him.
please. Is it accessible to everyone? I mean, can everyone ask questions or not?
No, like few participants, we have given access to only our informed students.
Okay.
They can interact with you.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah, dear students, do you have any questions?
You can interrupt me at any time during the presentation. I don't mind at all. I'm happy to answer any question
Especially
throughout the
fourth
presentation
semester
also.
students, I think now you have completed your projects. So you are maybe writing research articles. So you may have few questions. So you can interact with him. As well as second semester students, you can also ask him how to design and how to select the test drug, like any type of questions. So he's the better person. Please feel free, like you can ask any type of question, no issue. Please utilize this opportunity. Very rarely we will get this kind of opportunity.
Yeah. So
Good
nice of
afternoon.
you, doctor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please.
Myself, Santosh.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, how should I write an effective abstract in research proposals?
Okay.
And what are the common mistakes to avoid in research writing?
See, once you draft the introduction materials and methods, research and what is this? Results and discussion conclusion, the summary of all these things is nothing but an abstract. So you can use AI tools, but at the same time, we should also be in a position to write the abstract on our own. We can use the AI tools to summarize all these things and draft
So
a
if you use
abstract.
AI tools, then it may be like by using authenticate, it may say na like this is the plagiarism. AI now it has introduced both na.
Yes. But I think many journals they do not contraindicate or prescribe from using AI tools. They do not. But the only thing is that we have to give a statement that okay, AI tool was used in just narration or in rephrasing. Like that, we can give a statement and we can always use the AI tool. That's
Okay.
what I know. Yes. It was not used for idea generation or generation of the text.
Okay.
For rephrasing and for narration, we have used the AI tools. Such utilization of AI tools is not contraindicated.
So like while going for the plagiarism, while checking for the plagiarism, if AI content is coming like 30 or 50, is it a issue or it's not a big deal?
I don't know. Truly speaking, I have never used any AI tool
Okay.
while I was publishing my papers.
Now this updated version of Authenticate, it is giving a percentage of AI
Yes, I
usage
got
of.
you. You are absolutely right. Yes, I am aware of it, but I am not sure about that one at all.
Previously that was not available, so it was okay
Yes, you are
maybe.
right.
Like of
100%
course,
right. I'm
now it is giving how much percentage of AI is there in the manuscript.
That's what I mean. Recently, we were about to communicate one book chapter. They have clearly mentioned that even if AI tool was used, you just need to provide a statement on which direction the AI tool was used. They
Yes,
did
I
not.
have also seen in few papers. I have also seen that they are mentioning. So we have like
Yeah.
whatever you have stated, that kind of sentence they're keeping in their article.
Yes. It is not that AI tool must not be used at all. Even if AI tool detection has been done by that authenticate, it's okay. I think so. It's no wrong. It's not.
But one like sorry, Dr. Venki, like I am getting one curious question now. Like so to write the abstract, maybe we need to paste our entire manuscript in the. We need to give input, na? Then
Yes, obviously. Yes.
we are giving before publication itself. We are giving our entire idea and entire thing to a. Is it any? Will it give any problem?
I think, in my opinion, once we log in with our own credentials into any AI tool, I don't think it
Okay.
would be leaked to the whole public.
Acha. Okay.
I don't think
Okay.
so. I mean, once we use this AI tool with our login credentials, not only, see, all these AI tools, they are highly secured. It's not that they
Okay.
will leak all the information present in our research article to the um, others, and they can they can benefit out of it. It will not happen at all. I think so. Most of these AI tools, they are highly secured. Most
Okay,
of these
but
means, for
otherwise,
example,
if it will
the AI
display,
tools of
but if it will display, then our entire work, time, money, everything will be vain.
yes, you are right. You are right. Most AI tools means AI tools of from the authentic source. For example, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. I don't know about
Maybe if you have,
ChatGPT, but these two for
okay,
sure they are highly secured. I don't know about ChatGPT. I mean I did not
okay,
use
Gemini. What are the two you have mentioned? Gemini A, another one?
Copilot of Microsoft.
Acha, Copilot. Okay, okay, okay,
So
okay.
they are
Thank you.
highly secured websites, and I don't think
Okay,
our information will be leaked. I
okay,
don't think
okay,
so. I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I know as of now.
okay.
And by the way, coming back to the question, Santosh, I don't have I answered your question or not. Once you are ready with the manuscript, then it is easy to write the abstract. See, we have to go through 3 or 4 research articles. Then, for example, if you consider this research article which I have chosen throughout this presentation, if you read this completely, twice or thrice, then you would come to know clearly. Of course, there are so many research articles which do not segregate all the things in this manner. But this is an excellent article. That is the reason I have chosen this one as the prototype. If you go through this article, then you would understand, okay, this is the way to write any portion of the research article. Common mistakes means how can I say common mistakes? Here, mistakes, for example, while writing results, common mistake is that one only. Instead of giving a conclusive heading, many students I have come across, they
Yes,
give
yes.
the headings in this manner. That is effect of this one. And some people give the heading as a histopathology of histopathology. Some people give heading as RT-PCR, biochemical test. They are not the headings at all. See, actually, of course, we should be experts in that technique. It's yes, we should be. But while describing, the techniques are just tools to achieve our aim. That is, to test our hypothesis. So it is not necessary to include a technique in the heading of a result. But many a time, whatever the line I am showing is here, that is effect of beta-3-adrenergic receptors on bad function. Many a time, students tend to include headings like this, which is a mistake, in my opinion. And many a time, students include the headings as okay. For example, for this figure, some students what they do is they include a heading as RT-PCR, comma histopathology, comma biochemical test, like that. So can this be a heading? That is a major mistake that is being done by students. That should not be done. Instead, we should give the conclusive heading. This is just one example where many students tend to make mistakes. On case-to-case
Yes,
basis, I can
very,
only
very, 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 very true, Venki. Very true. Even not only students, even many
yes,
faculty
yes,
like
I
me
know,
also
I
were
know.
doing. Many faculty like me also were doing this kind of mistakes.
Yes,
Yes, yes, you
yes,
are very much.
yes.
You are very much.
Um, not only
Thank you
that,
very much for this. Today we have learned this one. Keep heading for the results.
yes, 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 especially results. And many a time we fail to give a correct title for the whole research work also. For example, see, okay, I'll go through this one. These are the major mistakes done by many people. Okay, look at the title of this research article. Assume that what if the title of the research article is like this: effect of brown adipose tissue activator and calorie restriction in NASH. For example, in comparison to that title, this title is conclusive. Are you people getting it or not? Especially the one who has asked me the question. Can you get me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So, for example, if the same title is written as effect of brown adipose tissue activator and calorie restriction to treat NASH. So, that title and this title, which of them seem to be conclusive and more appealing? Obviously, not the second one, but many a time, many people tend to include the
Yes.
title of the whole research work as the second one only.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Because
we
like
need to
as we are
scratch our
reading,
heads.
Yes, as we are habituated to read that kind of heading kind of article, so we're in that same way.
Yes, yes, I agree. Yes, yeah, many people
Yeah.
we are habituated to that.
So like
Yes,
previously we used to like we tend to read those kind of articles. So like we're continuous that kind of trend. Yes, we
yeah.
should.
Effect
Yeah.
or some people might use
Yeah.
evaluation of investigation of why
Yeah,
should
very
it be
simple.
written?
It's very simple. Yeah, effect, investigation. Yeah, same
That is also
attenuation.
not so great title. The title must be a conclusive one. Okay, what does that research article say? I mean, everywhere we should think of a broader aspect also, not just the narrow bird's view. Broader aspect means bird's view. Okay, broader aspect means even if someone doesn't read the whole research article, they should understand from the title itself. Okay, this research article is conveying this information to us. But if you include the second title, which I mentioned, that is effect of or investigation of or evaluation of, no one will understand unless and until they read the abstract or the complete research article. So these are the very common mistakes that are being done by students. I mean, as of now,
Like
whatever
this
I
title
observe.
itself, it is giving this title itself, it is giving answer,
Yes,
not like a question.
you don't need to read the complete article. You don't need to read the abstract. And for example, this title can be given to any layman also. Layman in the sense, for example, you are an expert in CNS research. You can understand this title even with going to the details of research. This is very closed-ended. I mean, it's not open-ended. The effect of investigation of, so what happened at the end of the article? So was it effective or not effective? So all these things need to be, I mean, we need to scratch our head in finding out all these things. From the title itself, it is going to be a conclusive statement. Okay, I think I have answered your questions. Is the
Yeah, very good question, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Santosh, and a nice explanation from Dr. Venki. Thank you so much. Yeah, any
Thank you,
questions?
Dr.
Dear
Samudrala.
students, any questions?
I know this presentation cannot be exhaustive. It is just an overview. Within the given time frame, it is not possible to discuss everything. That is the reason I might not be so. My presentation might not be so extensive. It's okay. I got you. This is what it is.
Yeah, any questions? So please, if you have any questions, please ask quickly. Otherwise, we will move to next one.
So throughout our career, we will be two things: research proposal. Part of our, I mean, research career or academic career, we cannot escape these two things at all.
Then, Venki, you can move to next one, next section.
Okay, so first of all, before learning about how to write a research proposal, we should know what are the benefits of a research proposal. I might be using the terms research proposal and grant synonymously, but both of them almost mean the same. Okay, so nowadays there is a severe crunch of funding for doing the research work also. So in that case, we can generate our own funding for doing our research work, and we can seek grants for traveling abroad or traveling nationally also to attend different conferences or workshops and some different scientific meetings. By securing grants, I mean, our career will be growing significantly. With the help of research grants, we can procure equipment that are required for our research work and for future research work. We can also use this grant for carrying out, organizing some professional activities such as organizing a scientific conference, organizing a workshop, organizing any other scientific meeting. If someone is organizing, we can also go there and attend that one For that, we have to secure a grant. And for that, generally, okay, that will be. So a research grant can be beneficial in all these means, in all these ways. So there can be different types of grants, I mean research proposals. They can be either public or the private, public funded or private funded. Public funded means government, and private funded means non-governmental organizations. And they can be of government grants, I mean which are public grants, and they can be foundation grants. Foundation means, for example, there can be a private organization such as American Heart Association, uh, American Pediatrics Association. There can be some associations. They also fund research work. So that kind of grants are called foundation grants. In the private grants, there can be corporate grants and non-corporate grants. Non-corporate grants are such as non-profit grants. Corporate grants, they grant a research grant as a research with a benefit that is useful for them. For example, assume that I'm a researcher here in our institute. A company might approach me with a certain research proposal. They can approach me and they can ask me to carry out that research work. Then that is called a corporate grant. When we submit a research proposal to non-profit organizations, then it is called a non-profit grant. So different kinds of grant or funding organizations are, these are different kinds of funding organizations also. Okay, various funding organizations are available at national level and international level. For example, see this DST, Department of Science and Technology, Indian Council of Medical Research, Department of Biotechnology, University Grants Commission. They are national bodies that fund research work. NIH, National Institutes of Health, National Science Foundation, European Research Council, they are international bodies that can fund research for the foreign countries also, not just their own countries. Gates, Wellcome Trust, these are very high-fi funding agencies. It is very difficult to secure grants from that funding agencies. This is a some of the funding agencies present in India. I think around 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 organizations I have mentioned. This is not the exhaustive list. I have just included a few, that's all. These are different international funding agencies. Okay, just like a research article, there is a long journey for the research proposal also. So first, there will be a call for application, which is also known as funding opportunity announcement or expression of interest. The funding agency advertises that they will be funding this research work like that. That advertisement is called CFA, call for application, funding opportunity announcement, or the expression of interest. In response to that call for application, we we draft a proposal and then submit it to the funding agency, either online or offline. There are certain funding agencies which accept proposal submission offline also still nowadays. Once we submit the proposal to the funding agency, then they will send it to the peer reviewers across the country, and then for the review of that one, based on the evaluation of the research proposal which we submitted, then it will be either granted or denied, or some negotiation also can be done. I mean, for example, if there is just some minor modifications need to be done, then the funding agencies tells us to make those changes, then it will award that grant. And once the research proposal is granted to us, then we will get money and we can do the research. So when we draft a research proposal, these are the components that need to be included. Just like that of a research article, if you remember, abstract, introduction, materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusion, and all these components. Similarly, this research proposal also has a specified format, that is title and abstract of the research proposal, specific aims. I mean, aims are nothing but objectives. Okay. Generally, how it goes is after we set a hypothesis, after we come across a research gap, we will set a hypothesis, and in order to test the hypothesis, we will have an aim. In order to reach that aim, we will set some objectives. Objectives are nothing but some sub aims. Okay. We have to include the innovation. What is the novelty of this grant proposal? Detailed methodology, just like the materials and methods of a research article. Budget and justification. This is the portion which is extra in addition to that of a research article. Budget and justification means how much money would be required to carry out this research work, and why should this research work be carried out. Those things need to be included along with the references, and career development plan means okay. After the successful completion of this research work, what truly speaking, this is the future directions. What future directions can be undertaken after the completion of this research work? Like that, these are different components of a research proposal. So we should not wait for a funding of agency to come up with an announcement, and then I will start overnight and start planning for the research proposal and draft a research proposal and submit it to the funding body. It's not like that. We should always be, ready with some idea or some proposal at any time. The only thing is that format is going to change according to based on the funding agency. So we should have already in advance an idea or idea for a research proposal, and it should be drafted with the common components. Then, according to the funding agency's structure, then we can tailor it according to the funding agency. So it never happens overnight. We should be well in advance. We should think of an excellent, very good idea to do the research work, and we should have that document also ready with us. Only the format slightly varies, and that can be done once the funding agency comes up with the call for application. These are, for example, most of the funding agencies, they do have a recurring call for applications. So, okay, for example, during the month of May, these call for applications are expected to come. They repeat the same thing next year also. So we should be aware, we should be well prepared for that call for application. So these are some examples. DAE means Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, Science and Engineering Research Board. This SERB is now renamed to NRF. These are some of the examples. Okay. Okay. It's not that if you remember, I told that okay, we cannot publish our research work in any journal of high impact factor. For example, based on our research work, we know that okay, for experts, experienced people, they know okay, this work can go into a journal of this much impact factor. This cannot go into a journal of 100 impact factor or 200 impact factor. Like that, we know. So similarly, even for submitting a research proposal also, we know that okay, because the funding agencies come up with different levels of funding. Funding opportunities. Early career, mid career, and senior. For example, I am an early career faculty. I must not submit a research proposal for senior research grants. Senior level grants. If you do so, that obviously it would not be accepted. It would be rejected for sure. So I should apply for research grants that are suitable or fitting to my career. am an early career researcher, so I should apply only for the early career research grants, but I should not look for senior research. Senior funding, senior level funding opportunities at all. For example, I will never try for. What is this? I will never try for this Wellcome Trust. Sorry, just a minute. Wellcome Trust, Gates, Tata, all these things. They have high level funding agencies. So I will look for only the funding opportunities that suit to my career. So we should choose the right grant also while applying. We should not be over ambitious at the same time. Okay, that's all about research writing with respect to research article and research proposal. Thank you very much for your patience. I'm happy to take up any questions if you have.
Dear participants, do you have any questions? Yeah, thank you, Dr. Venki, for your wonderful lecture. Really, it has given a lot of insights how to publish the article and how to go for the grants. So really, it is like very, very, very valuable session. It will be very much
Thank you,
useful
thank
to all
you.
our audience.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Samudrala, for giving me this opportunity to speak on a national level webinar. Thank you very much to you too. And in my opinion, he is even better than me, and especially you people. Those who are at your college, you can make the best out of him, Dr. Samudrala, Pawan Kumar Samudrala. He knows so many things better than me also. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, that is your greatness. Okay, thank you, Dr. Venki. Yeah, yeah, thank you,
May
participants.
I leave the...
Yes.
Okay.